Well, the month of July has brought us ups and downs. The start of July was much cooler than normal, but then we were building into last week where we even had a triple digit high temperature for at least one day, with other days at least flirting into those upper 90s. But overall, that average temperature still stays slightly below normal by just a degree. But we also continue to talk about building this deficit. We've been adding in some thunderstorm chances of accumulation this week, but we're only at that quarter of an inch, leaving us with that 4/10 of an inch of a deficit. And this deficit of rainfall has been growing over not only just July, but into much of the spring and summer. And that has continued to expand the drought conditions across much of the state. We're noting more regions even west of the divide moving into that moderate drought, almost most of the state underneath abnormally dry conditions. And we have several spots there on that far eastern portion of the state underneath severe drought. So with these conditions growing nearly weekly, the potential to continue to see this growth is likely unless we can get a nice downpour across the entire state to slow down the drought. There's definitely not looking to be any drought eliminating rainfall in our forecast, but there is a little bit of some more moisture rich potential. So there could be some decent downpours, but the thunder is still more of a scattered risk through Sunday, meaning that we're not seeing everyone walking away with a heavy downpour potential. We're not seeing those widespread showery conditions that really add moisture to our soil. So it might be a moisture rich environment, but it's still that thunderstorm activity. And then we're seeing that we're working into another warm and dry period where some returning 90s will be back in store. So expanding more of that drought could be ahead for the region. So we'll be keeping an eye on that threat. But here into our Friday, what we're watching is that we do have a tap of a frontal system moving its way on through. And as that frontal system moves in, we get a pull to some northeasterly winds, a little gusty into the afternoon that could fire up a few of those scattered thunderstorms. Though when it comes down to any of the strong thunderstorms, those do remain off towards the east. We do note though that with any storm development, especially along that frontal system, it could induce some times of some gusty winds. That will be our main threat. So here's we roll into our Friday. Day starts off pretty quiet, and then we do roll into the afternoon there. That's where we see the better coverage of some thunderstorms developing. But again, it's not a widespread rainfall. Just within some of those downpours, we could get some decent accumulation. As even when we look at the rainfall potential for precipitation accumulation, again, not seeing big numbers, but where there are numbers, they do jump up to a quarter of an inch, but there's lots of still big empty spots. So again, not a washout forecast for the area, but chances are on the board. We'll note that much of east of the divide is where the thunderstorm activity will remain. West of the divide stays a little quieter there. Cody even holds quiet at 85 degrees. Gillette's 85 with some of those thunderstorms. Cheyenne or Casper there at 89 with some of those thunderstorms as well. We'll note that as we carry through the weekend, we do have a little dial back of those temperatures as those storm chances continue through Sunday. But then starting Monday, we will turn to those dry weather conditions and watch our temperatures climb.